Website security is a top priority, and two-factor authentication 2FA adds an extra layer of protection to your WordPress site. By requiring users to verify their identity in 2 stages, 2FA significantly reduces the risk of unauthorized access. Here's how to implement it effectively. Understanding two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication works by combining something you know password with something you have authentication token. This could be a text message, an app-generated code, or a hardware key. Even if an attacker gains access to your password, they still need the second factor to log in. Why use two-factor authentication for WordPress? WordPress websites are a common target for cyber attacks due to their widespread use. Brute force attacks, where hackers attempt multiple password combinations, can be thwarted with 2FA. This additional layer of security makes it much harder for attackers to access your site. Even if they know your password. Choosing a 2FA plugin for WordPress. Several plugins enable two-factor authentication in WordPress. Some popular options include Google Authenticator. This plugin generates time-based one-time passcodes (TOTP) that change every 30 seconds. WordFence Security, a comprehensive security plugin that includes 2FA as part of its premium plan. Two-factor authentication by WP White Security. This free plugin is easy to use and integrates with Google Authenticator or Authy. Choose a plugin that meets your needs, keeping in mind ease of use, compatibility, and support. How to install and set up 2FA in WordPress. Here's a step-by-step guide for setting up two-factor authentication in WordPress using a plugin. Install and activate the plugin. Go to your WordPress dashboard. Navigate to Plugins, Add New. Search for your chosen 2FA plugin, and click Install Now. Configure settings. After activating the plugin, visit the plugin settings page to configure two-factor authentication. Each plugin may have different settings, but typically, you'll need to scan a QR code using an app like Google Authenticator or Authy. Enable 2FA for users. You can choose which users are required to use two-factor authentication. It's essential for administrators and editors, as they have access to sensitive areas of the website. Regular users can also be encouraged to use 2FA for their accounts. Test the setup. Once everything is configured, log out and try logging in again to ensure the 2FA process works correctly. You'll be prompted to enter your password first, followed by the authentication code generated by your app. Backup and recovery options. One downside of two-factor authentication is the risk of losing access to your site if you lose your second factor, e.g. phone or authenticator app. To avoid this, make sure to enable backup codes. These are one-time codes that can be used in place of your authentication app. Use multiple authentication methods. Some plugins allow you to set up several authentication methods, such as email-based codes or backup phone numbers. Regularly backup your website. If something goes wrong, having a backup ensures you can restore your site to its previous state. Additional security measures. Two-factor authentication is an important part of a robust security strategy, but it should be complemented by other measures. Strong passwords. Encourage users to use strong, unique passwords for their accounts. Limit login attempts. Plugins like Login Lockdown can limit the number of login attempts, reducing the risk of brute force attacks. SSL certificate. Always use SSL to encrypt data between your site and visitors. Conclusion. Implementing two-factor authentication in WordPress enhances security by adding an extra layer of protection. With the right plugin and configuration, 2FA can help safeguard your website from unauthorized access and potential breaches. However, it should be part of a comprehensive security plan that includes strong passwords, regular updates, and proper backup procedures.